Namaste and welcome to Yoga Story Daily Dose of Yoga. As we continue on with our Yin Yoga series, there are many poses within the Yin series, within our Yin Yoga practice that we also find and move through in our Vinyasa practice, our alignment focused practices. And one of those poses is child's pose. It's one of the poses that often you'll see teachers start with in classes. It's often a pose that's used to find a little bit of rest between that more vigorous movement, but it's also a pose that we use in Yin Yoga, and we often stay in this pose for about 6 to 10 minutes, depending on the class, and of course, always depending on how your body responds to that length of time in such a pose. Because child's pose, we do have that deep flexion through the knees. You might bring something underneath the knees if that's a little bit difficult on the ground, but you might bring something underneath or between the seat and the heels to create a little bit more space, a little bit less flexion through the knees. This also allows a little bit less intensity in the hips as well. So do notice what you need. A pillow, bolster, blankets underneath or between the heels and the seat can be very helpful here. Also, blanket or towel rolled up underneath the ankles can be helpful, particularly if you find that laying of the tops of the feet to the ground is a little bit difficult for you. You can bring a blanket underneath the ankles to create a little bit less of that lengthening through the tops of the feet there. So wherever you need to be here, we're bringing the knees wide and dropping the chest toward the ground. Again, a good place for a blanket or a few towels, pillow underneath the chest. Similar to our melting heart pose, we are finding some length through the chest. We are opening there as we come into the pose. So you might find you need a little bit more support. Feel free to take that. We do still want to find length. We want to create not necessarily a restorative position in the pose where we're fully relaxed. We do want to increase range of motion through the front of the shoulders by reaching the arms out long. We do want to increase that lengthening through the pectoral muscles as we melt the chest toward the ground in our child's pose. So again, make sure that you're finding that balance between discomfort and ease so that we're not, again, just totally relaxed, but there might be a little bit of discomfort as we learn to increase our range of motion through the joints as well as finding stability. So here, reaching the arms out long and dropping the forehead gently to the ground. Reach through the crown of the head. Chin draws toward the chest, and we're finding length through the back of the neck. You'll notice here, as you find that length through the front of the shoulders, you'll find a deepening of the flexation through the back of the shoulders. So again, increasing that range of motion through the shoulders, through that joint. You might also notice some increase of range of motion through the hips as you feel the seat draw toward the heels. Again, if the hips are a little bit more tense, that blanket or bolster between the heels and the seat, good place to be. And do feel free to stay as long as you like. When you're ready, we're connecting the pads of the fingers to the mat, pulling the body forward, drawing the chin, chest forward and up, and then gently walking the hands back, making your way up to a seat. Shift to one side. Take whatever seat is comfortable for you. You might find a little bit of shoulder rolls. Again, sometimes it's nice to find some movement between these more still movements, particularly if you do stay in the pose for a lengthy period of time. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Yoga Story, Daily Dose of Yoga. Peace.